kin gathered close at this hearth, where the fire's warmth guards our little ones and elders alike. What if the hands meant to cradle the newborn turned idle, leaving voices silent in the cradle?
What if swollen rivers claimed the untended fields, scattering the kin's labors like chaff before the wind?
And what if distant keepers shattered our council circles, sending youth from the fold with paths forever untrodden?
Hear now as the elder's tale unfolds from this very flame, lest our own household falter in the morrow's chill.
In the healing hut by the riverbank, where skilled hands once bound wounds and soothed the frail, a shadow fell upon the trust of kin.
The young mother, weary from her labors, placed her babe in arms not proven by seasons of watchful care, drawn by whispers from afar that promised swift mending without the slow weave of household herbs and chants.
That first dawn, the cradle grew cold, its tiny voice absent from the morning call, and the mother's hands, once steady at loom and hearth, now trembled, idle.
What strength remains in a household when the healer's touch scatters reciprocity like spilled seed?
By midday, word rippled through the kin network like a stone in still water, from hut to pasture where shepherds tallied the flock.
Youth who once learned the binding of salves from elders now shunned the hut's threshold, fearing blame for every faltering breath among the young.
Tools lay dusty in the workshop, the pestle unused, the drying racks barren, as hands turned to safer tasks, leaving the frail unattended and the kin's skills half-forged.
Elders at the boundary fence shook their heads, murmuring of broken rituals, while children chased shadows instead of gathering the healing roots.
Does not such doubt weaken the chain that binds youth to elder, labor to labor?
As days turned to a shadowed week, the river swelled from unheeded rains, its banks eroded where fields lay fallow, untended by the kin's full hands.
In the pastures beyond the settlement, swollen waters claimed the low paths, stranding herds and halting the cart that bore grain to the storehouse.
Smallholders, their backs bent to hasty dikes too late raised, watched harvests float away, perishables softened in the mud, seasonal yields lost to the flood's unrelenting pull.
Labor redeployed to salvage what remained, yet the merchant houses at the crossing grew wary, tightening their seals on shared stores. For who could reckon reciprocity when paths stayed broken?
What befalls the kin network when land stewardship yields to haste, and rivers carve deeper scars upon the earth?
Seasons shifted uneasy under this strain, drawing kin to the council circle at the hill's crest, where voices once wove plans for the turning year.
But distant keepers, their edicts carried on swift hooves, demanded oaths that pulled youth from fields and workshops, scattering them like leaves in gale.
Circles grew thin, rituals half, spoken with voices missing, as hands that should mend nets or till soil now idled under watchful eyes from afar.
Pastures unguarded let flocks wander, storehouses echoed empty without the steady flow of gathered bounty, and trust frayed like rope left too long in rain.
Travelers at the boundaries once weighed for their boon to household hearths, now brought only murmurs of tighter bonds beyond the kin's reach.
How does a settlement endure when council fires dim, and distant calls eclipse the elder's proven word?
Years crept in, like frost on untended blade, compounding the echo across the land.
In the burial grounds by the ancient oaks, markers stood for elders whose wisdom went unpassed, their chants silenced before the young could grasp the plow's true weight or the river's warning swell.
Children, grown lean from lean stores, chased fewer lessons in the workshop, their hands unskilled against coming storms, while households fractured, mothers weaving alone, fathers bartering scraps with wary outsiders.
Land stewardship faltered into brambles, skills faded like smoke from cold fires, and lineages thinned, bereft of the full circle's strength.
What future for our blood when trust dissolves, reciprocity withers, and the kin's labors scattered a wind?
Hear the elder's final word, kin, at this hearth. If such shadows persist, the healer's idle hand, the untended field, the yielded counsel, households will splinter like dry reed, elders' voices fade unheard, children hunger amid barren plots, trust crumble to dust, skills vanish untended, and lineages dwindle to whispers on empty winds.
Turn now to the fire's duty. Mend the weave of kin and land, lest the morrow claim us all.
Gather closer, and let labor renew what peril has loosed.
If echoes of ancestral whispers kindle fire in your breast, bear them forth into the weave of days. Utter them aloud, thread them through the hands of kin, and guard them with the steadfast tread of your steps.
Every murmur passed along fortifies the cord of seeking, nourishing the toil of insight that binds the ages one to another.
Let your timber join the gathered ring, sustaining the quest for what endures, probing not just the heart's own depths but the woven fates of the realm we claim as ours.
Etch your signs upon the shared ways to light the steps of those who follow, in spoken tales or quiet ponderings, and tread the trails our forebears marked toward well springs deep and true.
Stand firm within this labor, and the sage's teachings flow unbroken through the turning of the years.